So we are going to discuss about the boron family, 13th group element. We know that general electronic configuration of group 13 is Ns21, and it is the most heterogeneous family, And screening effect, we know basically the screening effect for s orbital is effective screening, effective shielding in case of s orbital, while there is poor screening or poor shielding in the case of f orbital. And we know when there is poor shielding effect, then effective nuclear charge increases, and when there is effective shielding, effective screening, then Z effective decreases. And also remember these two configurations. For gallium, there are 10 electrons in d orbital, while in the case of thallium there are 14 electrons in f orbital and 10 electrons in d orbital. Now we will discuss about another physical property of group number 13 elements. So basically atomic radii and the size of group 13 elements. See, as we can see that when we move from boron to aluminium, then atomic size increases. But we can see when we move from aluminium to gallium, so the atomic size decreases when we move from aluminium to gallium. As we know that the electronic configuration of aluminium is valence shell configuration is 3s2 3p1, while in the case of gallium the electronic configuration is 3d10 4s2 4p1. And we know the order of screening effect or shielding effect is S has effective shielding and poor shielding in the case of f and d orbital. So in gallium there are 10 electrons in d orbital, due to which there is poor screening effect in the case of gallium. Hence, when poor shielding effect, then effective nuclear charge increases. So due to poor shielding effect, effective nuclear charge increases. Therefore the size of gallium become less than the size of aluminium. Hence the size of gallium decrease from aluminium, because due to presence of 3d electrons, 10 electrons are in 3d orbital, and d orbitals have poor shielding effect. Due to poor shielding effect of 10d electrons, effective nuclear charge increases, hence size decreases from aluminium to gallium. So basically there is large difference in the size of boron and aluminium. First size increases, then size decreases. Again, when we move from gallium to indium, again size increases. But when we move from indium to thallium, we can see from boron to aluminium there is large difference in the size, and also from gallium to indium large difference in the size. But when we move from indium to thallium, there is only small change in the size, atomic size. Why? Because in thallium also we know the electronic configuration of thallium, basically 14 electrons in 4f orbital, 10 electrons in d orbital, and then 6s2 6p1. So basically we know f orbital has poor shielding effect, due to which effective nuclear charge decreases. Therefore there is only a small change in the size of atomic size of thallium when we move from indium to thallium. So always remember this: boron and aluminium size increases and large difference, but the size of gallium is less than the size of aluminium due to 10 electrons in 3d orbital and poor shielding effect of 3d orbital, effective nuclear charge increases. Again, when we move from gallium to indium, size increases. When we move from indium to thallium, again there is very small in the size of atomic, because due to poor shielding effect of 4f orbital. So basically due to addition of, when we move down the group from top to bottom, so basically due to addition of new energy shell and effective screening provided by p orbital, so Z effective does not increase much in the case of boron and aluminium. So basically when we move from aluminium to gallium, so we have seen when we move from aluminium to gallium, the size of gallium is smaller than the size of aluminium. So size decrease. Why size decreases? Because in between aluminium and gallium. In between aluminium and gallium, there exist 10 electrons in 3d orbital. So there exist 10 d block elements or 10 electrons in d orbital. So basically, in which electron enters into the d orbital. Since d orbital provide poor shielding effect. Since d orbital provides poor shielding effect, so due to poor shielding effect, the effective nuclear charge will increase. So effective nuclear charge increases, and we know when effective nuclear charge increases means size decreases. Therefore, the size of gallium is smaller the size of aluminium. So this effect is only applicable on group number 13. This effect is applicable only on the group number 13. Therefore, we called group 13 as a heterogeneous family. See, when we move from indium to thallium. So basically, when we move from indium to thallium, we can see there is very small significant change in the atomic size. So basically, when we move from indium to thallium, there is addition of cell because indium belongs to 5th period and thallium belongs to 6th period. As we know, on moving from indium to thallium, there exist 14 lanthanoid elements. So basically, thallium belongs to 4f orbital, and in 4f orbital, how many electrons are there? 14 electrons are there. So basically, last electron enters into the f orbital, and we know f orbital provides poor shielding. Due to poor shielding effect of f orbital, again, when shielding effect is poor, effective nuclear charge increase, and when effective nuclear charge increase, so size will decrease. Therefore, only very small change in the atomic size when we move from indium to thallium, from 167 picometer to 172 picometer only. Now we will discuss another physical property of group number 13, which is ionization energy. See, so now we are going to discuss about the ionization energy. See, basically, when we move from boron to aluminum, then size increases. When we move from boron to aluminum, size increases due to increase in the number of shell. So from boron to aluminum, as we know, ionization energy is inversely proportional to the size of atom. When size increase means ionization energy decrease. So we can say from boron to aluminum, ionization energy decreases due to increase in the size. As we know, the atomic radius of gallium is smaller as compared to aluminium. So basically, the atomic radius of gallium is smaller as compared to the size of aluminium. Why? Because in gallium there are 10 electrons in 3d orbital, and due to poor shielding effect of 3d electrons, the effective nuclear charge increases, hence the gallium size is less as compared to aluminium. As we know, ionization energy is inversely proportional to size. Therefore, size of gallium is less, hence ionization energy of gallium is higher than aluminium. So, ionization energy of gallium is greater than that of aluminium. Why? Due to poor shielding effect of d orbital. Then again, when we move from gallium to indium, then again size increases. As we know, size increases, so therefore due to increase in the size, we know ionization energy inversely proportional to size. When size increases, ionization energy will decrease. So again, gallium to indium, ionization energy will decrease. Now when we move from indium to thallium, as we know, when we move from indium to thallium, so basically the size of indium is 167 picometer, and we know the size of thallium is 170 picometer. We know due to 14 electrons in f orbital in case of thallium, because thallium belongs to 6th period, and in 6th period 4 f orbital exists. So due to poor shielding effect of f orbital, again the ionization energy will slightly increase from indium to thallium. So this is also heterogeneous property for group number 13, as there is no linear variation in the ionization energy. First, ionization energy decreases from boron to aluminium, then increases from aluminium to gallium, then again gallium to indium decreases, then from indium to thallium slightly increase in the ionization energy due to poor shielding effect of f orbital. In the same way, on the basis of ionization energy, we can discuss about the metallic character. See the metallic character. basically metallic character increases when we move from boron to aluminium, because from boron to aluminium ionization energy decrease. So from boron to aluminium ionization energy decrease means less energy required to remove an electron. Therefore metallic character increase from boron to aluminium due to decrease in ionization energy. But when we move from aluminium to thallium, so the metallic character goes on decreasing. Why metallic character goes on decreasing when we move from aluminium to thallium? Because we know there is irregularity in the size and ionization energy, because boron family is most heterogeneous family. There is no linear variation, regular variation in the size and ionization energy of group 13 elements. Therefore from aluminium to thallium it goes on decreases due to irregularity in size and ionization energy. Now aluminium has the highest metallic character in group number 13. See the next physical property of group 13 elements. As we know, in group 13 basically the crystalline boron, in group number 13 crystalline boron forms a strong lattice. So basically crystalline boron forms a strong lattice because it has high melting point. So basically crystalline boron exists in the form of strong lattice, due to which it has high melting point of near about 2076 degrees Celsius. while gallium has low melting point. Near about 29.8 degrees Celsius, and not generally gallium exists in the form of liquid at normal temperature. But gallium has a very high boiling point of near about 2400 degrees Celsius. So melting point of gallium is low, but gallium has a very high boiling point, due to which gallium is used in the high temperature thermometry. So this is very important property of gallium, you have to remember. So crystalline boron forms a strong lattice, due to which crystalline boron has high melting point about 207 degrees Celsius, while gallium has low melting point of about 29.8 degrees Celsius, and gallium generally exists as a liquid at normal temperature. So low melting point, but the boiling point for gallium is very high, about 2400 degrees Celsius, due to which it is used in the high temperature thermometry. Now we will discuss the chemical properties of boron family. See the chemical properties of boron family. So first we are going to discuss about the chemical property of boron family. So the first chemical property is reaction with air. As we know, air contains mostly nitrogen, which is about 78%, and oxygen about 20 to 21%. So first we will discuss the reaction of boron family with air. We also say reactivity towards oxygen. As we know, boron exists in the form of crystalline and amorphous form. So basically there are two forms of boron, one is crystalline and one is amorphous. So basically we have already discussed about the crystalline boron. Crystalline boron basically in the form of strong lattice, due to which it has high melting point. So as we know, crystalline form is the form of strong lattice, and also it has high melting point. So therefore crystalline boron does not react with oxygen even at high temperature. So crystalline boron is not reactive with oxygen even at high temperature due to strong lattice formation. While the amorphous form we will discuss. So basically amorphous form of boron can react with oxygen. See. So crystalline form do not react even at high temperature with oxygen, while the amorphous boron on heating at high temperature with O2 gives B2O3. So amorphous boron on heating at high temperature with oxygen forms B2O3. So this is amorphous boron. When reacts with oxygen, it forms B2O3 oxide. See the next element of group number 13 reactivity with oxygen. So basically next element, aluminium. So aluminium reacts with oxygen, it forms a thin layer of oxide of Al2O3. So basically when aluminium reacts with oxygen, it forms a thin layer of oxide of Al2O3. So basically when aluminium reacts with oxygen, it forms Al2O3. So this is basically thin, strong and hard layer of Al2O3, and some amount of heat is also released in this process. Why some amount of heat is released in this process? Because this is due to the high affinity of aluminium. This is due to the high affinity of aluminium towards oxygen. The reaction we also called thermite reaction, also known as thermite reaction. So due to high affinity of aluminium, with oxygen, we say in this process some amount of heat is also released, and the layer of Al2O3 is thin and strong and hard layer. See the another chemical property of group number 13 element. So basically in group number 13, both boron and aluminium. So basically both boron and aluminium react with nitrogen and forms nitrides. We know the nitride ion is basically N3 negative ion. So both boron and aluminium react with nitrogen and form nitrides. We can also see when boron reacts directly with nitrogen, form boron nitride Bn, and aluminium reacts directly with nitrogen, forms aluminium nitride Aln. See, boron nitride, the molecular formula is Bn. We can also say boron nitride as inorganic graphite. So boron nitride we can also say inorganic graphite, because graphite also exists in the form of hexagon rings. In the same way, the structure of boron nitride is similar to graphite. Therefore we call boron nitride as inorganic graphite. So in graphite basically hexagonal rings are present. In boron nitride also hexagonal rings are present. See the structure of boron nitride. When we see the structure of boron nitride, the molecular formula is BnX. We can see that 6 member atoms are basically in the form of hexagonal rings. So in case of graphite there are also hexagonal rings, but in graphite only carbon atoms are there, while in boron nitride, boron and nitrogen make the hexagonal rings. So the structure of boron nitride is similar to graphite. Therefore we can say boron nitride as inorganic graphite. Now we will discuss about the another chemical properties of group number 13. So the reaction of group number 13 elements with acids and base. See, as we know, boron does not react with acid and base up to this temperature. So basically up to 773 Kelvin, boron does not react either with acid or base. While aluminium reacts with mineral acid. For example, HCl and H2SO4, and liberate hydrogen gas. So boron does not react with acid and base up to 773 Kelvin, while aluminium reacts with mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4 and produces hydrogen gas. See the reaction. So basically when aluminium reacts with mineral acid like HCl, it forms AlCl3 with the liberation of hydrogen gas. In the same way, when aluminium reacts with another mineral acid which is HNO3, we also know HNO3 acts as an oxidizing agent. So HNO3 acts as an oxidizing agent, so it oxidizes aluminium in Al2O3. So basically we know the layer of Al2O3 is thin, strong and hard. So this layer we call protective layer. So after formation of the layer of oxide, it becomes passive. Towards reaction with HNO3. Now see, so basically when aluminium on reaction with HNO3, it forms a layer of Al2O3. On its surface, and the acid cannot further react with aluminium. So acid After formation of Al2O3 layer, the acid cannot further react with aluminium. Therefore, aluminium becomes passive in HNO3. So this layer is basically act as a protective layer. After formation of Al2O3 on aluminium, now acids cannot react with aluminium further. See another reaction. As we know, aluminium is amphoteric in nature. Aluminium is amphoteric in nature. So due to amphoteric nature, we know amphoteric are basically those substances which react with acid as well as base. So aluminium we have seen reacted with acid. Now aluminium is reacting with base because aluminium is amphoteric in nature. So basically when aluminium react with base like NaOH in water, it forms a water soluble compound. It forms a water soluble compound which we call sodium meta-aluminate. So basically when aluminium dissolves in base, aqueous solution of base, it forms sodium meta-aluminate which is water soluble and with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Now we will discuss another chemical property of group number 13 elements. See, so next chemical property of group 13 element is reaction with halogens. Reaction with halogens. So basically when group number 13 elements reacts with halogen, it forms trihalide compound. It forms trihalide compounds because the maximum oxidation state of group number 13 element is +3. So basically group number 13 element when react with halogen, it forms trihalides where X can be fluorine, X can be chlorine, X can be bromine and X can be iodine. See for example when boron reacts with fluorine, so basically reaction of group 13 with halogen, M plus X2 gives MX3, so it gives boron trifluoride. In the same way, when aluminium reacts with Cl2, it forms AlCl3. So the next chemical property we are going to discuss, the reaction of group number 13 element with ammonia. See, when group number 13 element like boron and aluminium, so when boron reacts with ammonia, it forms boron nitride, and we know boron nitride we also say inorganic graphite. So basically boron nitride is basically a inorganic graphite. So basically boron nitride is inorganic graphite, we can also say to boron nitride because the structure of boron nitride is similar to graphite, because in graphite hexagonal rings of carbon atoms, while in the case of boron nitride we have seen hexagonal rings of boron and nitrogen. In the same way, aluminium also reacts with ammonia and forms aluminium nitride with the evolution of hydrogen gas. See the compounds of group number 13 elements. So the next topic is the compounds of group number 13 elements. So the first compound we are going to discuss for group 13 element is oxides and hydroxide of group number 13 element. As we can see, group 13 elements can form oxide in the form of M2O3 when reacts with oxygen. So M2O3. So B2O3, Al2O3, Ga2O3, In2O3 and Tl2O3. See, as B2O3 is acidic in nature, because we know where we move from top to bottom. When we move from top to bottom, then tendency to lose electron increases. Tendency to lose electron increases. And tendency to lose electron increases, therefore basic nature increases. So the topmost oxide B2O3 is acidic in nature, while Al2O3 and Ga2O3, aluminium oxide and gallium oxide, are amphoteric in nature. So basically these oxides can react with acid as well as base, while the oxide In2O3 and Tl2O3 is basic in nature. And we know, according to inert pair effect, the +1 oxidation state of thallium is more stable than +3. Therefore we can say in Tl2O3 and Tl2O, because in Tl2O3 oxidation state of Tl is +3, while in Tl2O oxidation state is +1. So Tl2O is more stable as compared to Tl2O3 because due to inert pair effect we know lower elements has lower oxidation state is stable. So for lower elements lower oxidation state is stable. So we can see when we move from top to bottom basic nature increases because electron loss tendency increases. Therefore B2O3 is acidic while Al2O3 and Ga2O3 is amphoteric because these oxides can react with acid and base, while In2O3 and Tl2O3 are basic in nature. Now see the hydroxides of these. As we can see, the hydroxides of these is basically boron form water soluble hydroxide. Boron forms water soluble hydroxide which is BOS thrice. We can also say this boric acid. So BOS thrice is basically H3BO3. We call this acid as boric acid. So first hydroxide of boron is basically acidic in nature, and we know aluminium hydroxide and gallium hydroxide are amphoteric in nature like oxides. Oxides of aluminium and gallium are also amphoteric. Therefore hydroxides of aluminium and gallium are also amphoteric and white PPT, and there is white PPT of AlOH thrice. Now as we know indium oxide and thallium oxide are basic in nature, their hydroxide also indium hydroxide and thallium hydroxide also basic in nature. Due to +3 oxidation state they form hydroxides of type MOS thrice due to +3 oxidation state. So basically rest all hydroxides form gelatinous PPT in water. Now we will discuss. So basically we have discussed about the oxides and hydroxides. The first element boron forms acidic oxide and acidic hydroxide, and boric acid is water soluble and molecular formula is H3BO3. Similarly when aluminium gallium oxides are formed, so Al2O3 and Ga2 are amphoteric in nature, also their hydroxide is also amphoteric in nature, while the oxides and hydroxides of thallium, indium and thallium are basic in nature. So now we are going to discuss our another compound which is formed by group 13 element when reacts with halogen. See, this is very important. So basically when halides are formed when member of group 13 and elements of group 13 form trihalides with halogen. So trihalides formed by group 13 element is of type MX3. Why MX3? Because we can see the oxidation state of element is +3. The highest oxidation state of group 13 element is +3. Therefore the halide formed by group 13 element is of type MX3. See the halides of group number 13 elements. As we can see there are 3 halogens, therefore we say trihalides of boron. So basically trihalides of boron are when boron reacts with fluorine it forms BF3, when boron reacts with chlorine forms BCl3, when boron reacts with bromine forms BBr3, and when boron reacts with iodine forms Bi3. So we can see that hybridization of each atom, the hybridization of each atom is sp2. So each atom is sp2 hybridized because there are 3 sigma bonds. So basically it forms hydride of type BX3, and we can see, so boron forms 3 sigma bond with halogen, and we can see 1 2 3 4 5 6. So central atom has only 6 electrons. It means Lewis octet rule is not followed. Lewis octet rule is not followed because central atom has only 6 electrons. Therefore it is electron deficient compound, and when the central atom is electron deficient we call these compounds as Lewis acids. So basically we can see in all boron only 3 bonds are there, 3 sigma bonds are there, therefore only 6 electrons. So we can say all boron halides, or we can say all boron trihalides. All boron trihalides can act as a Lewis acid due to incomplete octet. So basically all boron trihalides can act as a Lewis acids due to deficiency of electron around their central metal atom. So they are electron deficient and can accept electron pair from other electron rich species. Like in water, oxygen can donate electron pair. Like F minus, fluorine can donate electron pair. So basically trihalides of boron are electron deficient in nature. So electron rich species can donate electron pair to the central metal atom. So basically boron trihalides will act as Lewis acid due to electron deficiency, and the species which donate electron pair to boron trihalides will act as Lewis base. See the reaction of Lewis acid and Lewis base, we can also see. So basically BX3, boron trihalide, due to electron deficiency act as a Lewis acid, while X minus, due to extra electron pair, act as Lewis base. So electron pair is accepted by the Lewis acid from the Lewis base and form coordinate bond, because donation of electron pair to form bond we call coordinate bond from donor to acceptor, so it forms a ion px4 negative ion. So basically the trihalides of boron, we have seen the habitation of boron atom is sp2 because there are only 3 bonds in trihalides, and we can see that the central atom has incomplete octet, due to which there is deficiency of electron and we know electron deficient compound we call Lewis acid, and geometry of this compound is trigonal planar, and we know boron is second period element and configuration of valence electron is 2s to 2p1. So basically all boron trihalides will behave as Lewis acid. If any electron rich species will donate its electron pair to boron trihalide, then there is formation of coordinate bond from donor to acceptor. So Lewis base is basically donor atom and Lewis acid is basically acceptor. So formation of coordinate bond from donor to acceptor, and it form tetrahedral complex of px4 negative after acceptance of electron. Now see, so basically the trihalides of boron are one is BF3. We can see central atom has incomplete octet, only 6 electrons are there. Also in case of BCl3 only 6 electrons are there. In case of BBr3 only 6 electrons are there, and Bi3 only 6 electrons are there. So the one point will come in our mind, we know the electronegativity of fluorine is more, and electronegativity fluorine decreases from fluorine to iodine. So basically on the basis of electronegativity, due to high electronegativity of fluorine atoms, so fluorine will attract electron towards itself, therefore there is more electron deficiency of boron in case of BF3. So according to this we can see boron becomes more electron deficient because 3 more electronegative atoms are attached which attract electron pair towards itself. So according to electronegativity rule, the acidic nature should be the Lewis acid character. The Lewis acid character must be more for BF3. Why? Because fluorine is more electronegative, it attracts more electron towards itself, therefore more electron deficiency of boron atom, so if there is more deficiency of electron means stronger Lewis acid. So according to electronegativity, the order of Lewis acid should be BF3, BCl3, BBr3, BF, but this is wrong. This is expected on the basis of electronegativity, which is wrong, because the correct order of Lewis acid character is explained on the basis of overlapping of orbitals. So according to overlapping, which we discuss, the Lewis acid character, this is the Lewis acid character correct order. So Lewis acid character in case of BF3 is lowest. So it is not compared on the basis of electronegativity, it is compared on the basis of overlapping. So Bi3 has highest Lewis acid character, and BBr3 has then, and BF3 has the least Lewis acid character. Now discuss the Lewis acid character. See, as we know in case of BF3, there are 3 bonds across boron. So basically when we see boron, fluorine, fluorine and fluorine, so basically there are 3 bonds. So hybridization of boron is sp2. The hybridization of boron is sp2. First write the electronic configuration of boron in ground state. So basically the electronic configuration is 2s2 and 2p1. So 2 electrons are there in s orbital and 1 electron in p orbital. According to this, in ground state, in boron ground state, 2 electrons in s orbital and 1 electron in p orbital. So basically there are 3 electrons. Now see the excited state. See the excited state. On excitation, the electron is excited. So this paired electron will excite to 2p orbital. Now in excited state of boron, there are 3 unpaired electrons. 1 in 2s orbital and 2 electrons are in p orbital. So basically represent px, p by pz. We can see that now we have 3 unpaired electrons. So these 3 orbitals will undergo hybridization because these are atomic orbitals, so there is difference in the energy. Now after hybridization, intermixing, they form, as we know, number of atomic orbitals combined is same as number of hybrid orbitals formed. So 3 atomic orbitals combined, therefore 3 hybrid orbitals will form. And in hybridization, 1 s and 2 p orbitals undergo hybridization. So basically 3 sp2 hybrid orbital will be formed. 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals will be formed after hybridization. This is sp2, this is also sp2, and this is also sp2 hybrid orbital. So 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals are formed, and we can see along with 3 sp2 hybridized orbital, there is also 1 vacant atomic orbital. So basically now boron in excited state has 3 sp2 hybrid orbital of equivalent energy, equivalent shape and size, and there is 1 pure atomic orbital. We know the hybrid orbital can form only sigma bond. So the hybrid orbital can form only sigma bond, while the pi bond formed by the atomic orbital only. So pure atomic orbital forms pi bond, while the sigma bond is formed by hybrid orbital, because hybrid orbital can form only sigma bond. Now see, so this is all about, we have discussed about the central metal atom, which is boron. So this is the configuration of boron. Now see the surrounding atom. The surrounding atom is fluorine. As we know, for fluorine, valence shell configuration is 2s2 to p5. Now for fluorine, 2 electrons are in s orbital and 5 electrons are in p orbital. So basically in case of fluorine, there is 1 unpaired electron in p orbital. Now we have, so each single fluorine atom has 1 unpaired electron. And how many fluorine atoms are there? 3 fluorine atoms are there. And in case of boron, we have 3 hybrid orbital with unpaired electron and 1 vacant orbital, which we call pure atomic orbital. Now see, so basically fluorine has 1 unpaired electron and boron has 3 unpaired electrons. So boron will form, so 3 fluorine atom will form bond with boron. See, so boron arrange in the form of sp2 hybridized orbital, because 1 s and 2 orbital undergo hybridization. So this is the arrangement of boron in sp2 hybridization. So boron 3 sp2 hybridized orbital arrange themselves in the trigonal planar geometry. Now fluorine atom has 1 unpaired electron, so there is formation of, because we know hybrid orbital can form only sigma bond. So 1 sigma bond is formed between sp2 boron and fluorine unpaired electron, sigma bond. Now another sp2 of boron will form a sigma bond with fluorine, so another sigma bond. Now again sp2 hybrid of boron forms a sigma bond with fluorine. So basically how many sigma bonds are there? 1, 2, 3. So 3 sigma bonds are formed by the boron by using 3 unpaired electrons of hybrid orbital. As we know, so boron has arranged in the form of trigonal planar geometry. See, again there is 1 orbital of boron which is vacant, and this is pure atomic orbital. And we know Px, Py, Pz. Px, Py, Pz are perpendicular to each other. So this atomic orbital of boron, will be perpendicular to the plane. So now arrange the vacant 2p orbital. So this is the vacant 2p orbital of boron, which is perpendicular to the plane. Geometry of BF3. Now fluorine has also lone pair of electron, because we can see, so boron, fluorine having lone pair of electron, 3 lone pairs of electron on fluorine atom, and boron has one vacant orbital, so this is BF3. Boron has one vacant orbital, and there is lone pair of electron in the orbital of fluorine. As we know, overlapping always between the parallel orbitals. So basically fluorine will donate its electron pair from fluorine atom to boron atom, so because this orbital is filled having lone pair of electron, and the central atom of boron having the vacant orbital. So we can see that since this orbital of boron is vacant and fluorine having unpaired electron in 2p orbital, so due to sideway overlapping between 2p and 2p, we know the overlapping is effective. When energy of orbital is same and size is also same. So we can see that boron 2p orbital and also fluorine has 2p orbital. So these are similar energy and of same size. So we can say there is sideway overlapping occurs between boron and fluorine. So this type of bond formation we can say back bonding. So basically back bonding is what? The lone pair of electron in the orbital of 2p is donated to the vacant orbital of central atom, and there is back donation. So there is sideway overlapping and formation of pi bond. We can also say this bond back bonding, because there is formation of pi bond between p orbital and p orbital. So that is how the formation of back bonding in case of BF3. And we know that when the size of halogen increases, we know when the size of halogen increases means the overlapping decreases, the extent of overlapping decreases, because effective overlapping is only when the energy and the size of orbital must be similar. But if the size of halogen increases, means if size of orbital increases, then overlapping is not effective, hence back bonding decreases. So with the increase in the size of halogen, back bonding strength decreases. So back bonding is maximum in the case of BF3. Why? Due to small size of boron, there is effective overlapping and effective donation of electron pair. So basically F will donate its electron pair with maximum power, because there is effective back bonding, due to which deficiency of boron decreases, due to back bonding from fluorine to boron atom. Therefore the Lewis acid character of BF3 is least. Due to back bonding, stronger back bonding, and back bonding decreases from BF3 to Bi3, because the size of atom increases and effective overlapping decreases. Now see the case of BF3. So we can see that back bonding, all fluorine atoms can donate electron pair into the vacant orbital. So at one time only one bond is formed. So basically due to back bonding, there is partial double bond character between boron and fluorine. So we can say that the bond order increases, and bond length is between the bond length of single bond and double bond. So due to back bonding, there is partial double bond character. Therefore we can say that bond length is between single bond and double bond due to partial double bond character. So when electron pair from the fluorine atom is donated to the vacant orbital of boron, so as a result of back bonding, the electron deficiency of boron will decrease. So as a result of back bonding, the electron deficiency of boron will decrease. If higher is the tendency to show back bonding, then lesser will be the electron deficiency. Now we will discuss about the BF3, BCl3, BR3 and Bi3 Lewis acid character on the basis of back bonding. So we know if higher is the tendency to show back bonding, lesser will be electron deficiency. See, as we can see that in case of BF3, the vacant orbital of boron 2p and fluorine also having 2p orbital. Now in the case of BCl3, so vacant orbital of 2p, while in chlorine the orbital containing lone pair of electron is 3p orbital. While in the case of BBr3, again vacant orbital of boron is 2p, while the orbital containing lone pair of electron having 4p orbital. See, in case of Bi3, again boron has vacant orbital 2p and iodine belongs to 5p orbital. So we know that when the size and energy is similar, then there is effective overlapping. So back bonding is more in, so sideway overlapping or back bonding is effective when the size is similar and energy is also similar. But we can see that when the size of halogen increases, then the size of atom is increasing, and size of atom increasing, the size of orbital also increasing. It means when we move from fluorine to iodine, due to increase in the size of orbital, tendency to show back bonding decreases. So effective back bonding in the case of a small size of halogen atom. So highest back bonding in BF3, highest tendency of back bonding in BF3, due to which, as stronger back bonding means electron deficiency will decrease. Higher is the tendency to show back bonding, then lesser will be the electron deficiency. So in case of BF3, lesser deficiency will remain. So BF3 will behave as a weaker Lewis acid, and in case of Bi3, electron deficiency of boron is not completed because the overlapping is not effective. Why? As we know, boron is 2p orbital and Bi3 has the highest Lewis acid character. So when we arrange the acidic character, so Bi3 will have highest Lewis acid character because back bonding is less in Bi3 and back bonding is highest in BF3. Therefore it is weakest Lewis acid because electron deficiency of boron is completed by fluorine very effectively due to effective back bonding. So we can say when we move from, we can say on moving from fluorine to iodine. So we can say on moving from fluorine to iodine, due to increase in the size of orbital, from fluorine to iodine, the tendency of atomic orbitals to overlap decrease. So due to increase in the size of orbitals, the tendency of atomic orbital to overlap decreases. As a result of tendency to form back bonding decrease. So with the increase in size of halogen, tendency to form back bonding decreases, and we know electron deficiency of boron will be highest in the case of Bi3 because of less back bonding in Bi3. So Bi3 is highest Lewis acid character due to less back bonding. Due to higher the size of atomic orbital, there is very less back bonding, hence Bi3 is strongest Lewis acid, and BF3 has lowest Lewis acid character. Now see the reaction. As we can see in case of BF3 and NS3, so boron has only 6 electrons around it. As central atom of boron is incomplete, therefore BF3 will behave as Lewis acid. While in case of NS3, nitrogen forms 3 bonds with hydrogen, and also there is extra electron pair. So boron can accept electron pair due to electron deficiency, and nitrogen can donate its electron pair. So electron deficient known Lewis acid and electron rich will known Lewis base. So there is formation of coordinate bond from donor to acceptor. And this we call compound addition complex or adduct of BF3 and NS3. Now see the next example. The next example is, so in this example basically BF3 act as a Lewis acid due to central atom has electron deficiency. Now fluorine has negative charge, means extra electron pair, so it will behave as Lewis base. So Lewis base will donate its electron pair to electron deficient. Means there is formation of coordinate bond from donor to acceptor. From donor to acceptor. So we can see that fluorine donated its electron pair and form coordinate bond. So the complex is BF4 negative from donor to acceptor. Now see the trihalides of aluminium. See the trihalides of aluminium. The trihalides of aluminium are AlF3, AlCl3, AlBr3 and AlI3. So basically the trihalide of aluminium, AlF3 is an ionic halide. The trihalide of aluminium, which is AlF3, is ionic halide, while rest of the halide of aluminium, AlCl3, AlBr3 and AlI3, are covalent in nature. See the ionic halide of AlF3. So AlF3 is ionic halide due to very high electronegativity of fluorine atom. Why AlF3 is ionic halide? Due to high lattice energy, and also due to high lattice energy along with the high electronegativity of fluorine atom. See, basically in AlF3, the AlF3 is not considered as Lewis acid. Why AlF3 is not a Lewis acid? Because AlF3 is an ionic compound. So Al3 plus and F minus ions are present. We can see there are 2 and 8 electrons, electronic configuration, because 10 electrons are there, and also in case of fluorine there are only 10 electrons. So we can see the octet of each atom. The octet of each atom in AlF3, aluminium and fluorine, the octet of each atom is complete. It means it will not act as a Lewis acid. So remember this question, which is very important. AlF3, when we look towards AlF3, it looks like electron deficient, but AlF3 is not electron deficient. Why? Because AlF3 is not a covalent compound. It is an ionic halide, and it breaks into Al3 plus and F minus, and the octet of each atom is complete. Therefore AlF3 is not electron deficient. It is not a Lewis acid because AlF3 is a ionic halide. While rest AlCl3 and AlBr3 and AlI3 are covalent compound, therefore these are electron deficient compounds. See, first we are going to discuss about AlCl3. See, in the case of AlCl3, basically in AlCl3 we can see there are 3 covalent bonds around aluminium. So basically only 6 electrons are there, due to which this behaves as a electron deficient compound. So AlCl3 is basically, due to incomplete octet, only 6 electrons are there, it behaves as a Lewis acid. But in case of BF3 we have discussed, electron deficiency of boron is completed by the back donation, means back bonding of fluorine and boron. But in case of AlCl3, it is not possible to form a back bonding. Why? Because to form a back bonding, the important condition is there is effective overlapping between the central atom and the surrounding atom, which is only possible when the size of atom is similar, when the size of atom of central atom and surrounding atom is similar, and there is effective overlapping when energy is also similar. So AlCl3 do not show back bonding like BF3. So AlCl3 do not show back bonding like BF3 due to larger size of aluminium, because aluminium belongs to 3p orbital. While boron belongs to 2p orbital, therefore can form back bonding. So we can say AlCl3 is a Lewis acid having 6 electron, but electron deficiency of aluminium is not completed by back bonding, because in AlCl3 do not show back bonding. Why AlCl3 do not show back bonding? Due to large size of aluminium, because aluminium belongs to 3p orbital. So we can say AlCl3 does not show back bonding due to larger size of aluminium. So how the electron deficiency will be completed? So how the electron deficiency of AlCl3 will be completed? See, as we know, AlCl3 completes its electron deficiency. So AlCl3 removes its electron deficiency by forming a dimer in vapor phase. So it forms dimer. So on forming dimer, the electron deficiency is completed. See. So basically AlCl3 exists in the form of dimer. We can see that in AlCl3, in case of AlCl3, we can see 3 bonds around chlorine. In the same way, another aluminium. So there are 2 molecules of AlCl3 we can see. As we can see that on chlorine atom there are 3 electron pairs are present. Also on this chlorine atom 3 electron pairs are present. And the central atom of AlCl3 is electron deficient. The central atom of AlCl3 is electron deficient. So chlorine can donate its electron pair to the vacant orbital of aluminium. So there is formation of coordinate bond from donor to acceptor atom. In the same way, again in this molecule of AlCl3, again aluminium is electron deficient. So electron deficiency is removed by donation of electron pair from chlorine atom to the vacant orbital of aluminium. So basically there is formation of coordinate bond and 2 molecules of AlCl3 are joined. So 2 molecules of AlCl3 are joined by the formation of coordinate bond from chlorine atom to aluminium, from donor to acceptor, So 2 molecules of AlCl3 when joined, it forms a dimer. So basically in case of AlCl3, due to large size of aluminium, because aluminium belongs to 3p orbital, back bonding is not possible. But the electron deficiency is removed by forming a dimer. So AlCl3 molecules dimerize and removes its electron deficiency. See the dimer of AlCl3, it forms the dimer in vapor phase, which we called Al2Cl6. So always remember, in AlCl3 there is no possibility of back bonding. So AlCl3 removes its electron deficiency by the formation of dimer in the vapor phase. It forms a compound of Al2Cl6. Now we will discuss about the compounds of boron. See, the next topic is compounds of boron. The first compound of boron we are going to discuss is borax. So the first boron compound we are going to discuss about is borax. The molecular formula of borax. The molecular formula of borax is Na2B4O7.10H2O. So this is the molecular formula of borax, Na2B4O7.10H2O. Also we can write the formula in the form of Na2B4O5OH4.8H2O. So this and this formula is remain same. 2 Na atoms, 4 boron atoms, 4 boron atoms. How many oxygen atoms are there? 7 and 10, 17. See also there. So 5 and 4, 9, 9 and 8, 17. And hydrogen how many? 4 and 16. 4 and 16, 20. And also there are 20 hydrogens. So the molecular formula of borax is Na2B4O7.H2O, or we can say in the form of complex Na2B4O5OH4.8H2O, and it is a white crystalline solid. So this is the first compound of borax we are going to discuss. And the structure of borax is, basically we have discussed about the ionic form, which is Na2B4O5OH4.8H2O. So the complex part is B4O5OH4. So we can see that in this case the structure of borax is like this. So the question on the basis is each boron atom containing 4 OH groups, 1, 2, 3 and 4. See the hybridization of 2 boron atoms. In borax, this we can see 1, 2, 3 sigma bonds are there. So hybridization is sp2. And see the hybridization of this boron atom. So hybridization is sp2. Now see the hybridization next to boron atoms. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 atoms are there, therefore hybridization is sp3. Now see the hybridization of next boron atom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So hybridization is sp3. So basically in borax, how many sp2 hybridized boron atoms are present? 2 atoms of sp2 hybridization boron atoms are present, and 2 borons of sp3 hybridization are present. So in case of boron, 4 boron atoms are there, and 2 boron atoms are sp2 hybridized, and 2 boron atoms are sp3 hybridized. And how many boron hydroxide bonds are present? BOH bonds are present. So basically 1 BOH bond, second BOH bond, third BOH bond, and 4 BOH bond. So 4 BOH bonds are present. And how many water molecules are present outside the complex? So basically 8 water of crystallization. And how much is the charge on the complex? Which is -2. And how many BOB linkages are there? BOB linkage. See, BOB linkage, 1 BOB linkage, 2 BOB linkage, 3 BOB linkage, and 4 BOB linkage, and 5 BOB linkage. So how many BOB linkages are there? Boron oxygen boron bond. So basically 1 boron oxygen boron, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are 5 boron oxygen boron linkages are present. So this is completely described structure of borax. So basically the formula of borax is Na2B4O7.10H2O. We can also say Na2B4O5OH4.8H2O. And 2 boron having hybridization of sp2, and 2 boron atoms are of sp3 hybridized. And how many BOB linkages are there? 5 BOB linkages are there. 1 BOB, 2 BOB, 3 BOB, 4 BOB, and 5. So there are 5 BOB linkages are there. So this is a very important compound of boron. We have discussed about the borax and structure of borax, and it is white crystalline solid.